Hello. Today we will talk about relationships. And specifically, I want to talk about how to manifest your dream partner. From my personal experience, I've had 3 meaningful relationships in my life. 2 of them with men that lasted over 3 years. They have shaped who I am today. I'm at a point in my life that I have to really take a step back and think about what I really want in a partner, because at the end of the day, one of my life goals is to be a mother. I'm excited for this chapter of my life. I want to be a mother. I want to have children. That is a role that I cannot wait for. But I can actually wait for it. Like, I don't want to be a mom right now, but it's something that I really look forward to one day. And that has to be also in relation to your partner. Like, I want to be able to have a partner to raise my children with. That is to me a huge life decision. Like, I take my relationships very seriously. You know, I only like the concept I date to marry, and not that I know for sure I'm gonna get married, but it's just like I date for commitment. That's how I view my relationships. It's not just fucking around and just going on dates and, you know, just having one night stands. I really do not value that. I value finding your partner and building that relationship that will be like super strong and healthy and empowering. There is a way to manifest your dream partner. I came up with like a small little list here that really gives me some sort of guideline to how to go about that, and I want to share it with you. So the first thing I want you to realize is that you have to be the qualities that you want to attract. Whatever you put out there, like your energy, your presence, like what you think is what you're going to attract. Let's say you want a secure relationship, you have to make sure that you are secure yourself. This has to go with the attachment style. So look into your attachment style. Do you have an anxious attachment style? Do you have what are the other ones? Avoidance, and then there's like a secure attachment style. Like, look into your attachment style and like try to heal yourself first, because who you are with yourself is going to really affect what you attract, if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. So I think like the number one thing you have to think about is that you need to focus on yourself and being comfortable yourself, because if you aren't comfortable with yourself and you act desperately, you're not gonna attract a healthy partner. Because if you're desperate, you're just gonna end up hurt, and it's probably not what you truly want. Like, you need to heal yourself. You really do need to heal yourself. So focus on being comfortable alone, and that's what's gonna make you attract a partner that is also secure and ready to commit. And the reason why you should focus on yourself is that you need to make sure that you have fully healed from your previous relationships. You have to have the introspection of what you've learned, what can you do better next time, what were red flags that you ignored at first. You have to look into your past relationships and see things that you don't want to do again, because the people that bounce from one relationship to the other, they don't really take the time to realize like what hasn't worked in the previous one, and then they just keep repeating the same mistake. If you want your dream partner, you have to make sure that you know exactly what didn't work in the past and what to look for in the next relationship. Something that I know that I've ignored, I often question the infidelity that the other person could have. I trusted them too much. Even if I know that they're lying, I'm gonna give them benefit of the doubt instead of confronting them and telling them that like I know that something's off. It's like I'd rather not know, and like that has always ended up hurting me. So in my new relationship, I want to make sure that if there's anything that I know is off, that I voice my concern. Because in the past, I've always ignored my gut feeling, and it's always come back to the surface where I'm like, why did I not just like tackle that in the first place? And the other thing you have to do is to forgive yourself from your past. Like I have to forgive myself for ignoring the red flags, because that's what actually made me stronger today. Like, I have recovered from that, and I'm stronger today, and I'm more wise, and I know what I want. So I'm grateful that it happened, and I forgive myself for letting that happen. I didn't know better, but now I do, and I need to like embrace that and empower that. Okay, the next thing is you don't want to settle for less than you deserve, or don't settle for like what's easy, and don't commit to a relationship that is not what you want, is mediocre but comfortable, because you don't want to ended up wasting time on someone that you knew that you wouldn't want as a life partner, but it's kind of like comforting to have someone right now. If that person is not your person, your forever person, and you don't think they will ever be, don't waste your time. You're literally as much as you're like, oh, but it's still fun, like we still enjoy, you're literally not attracting your perfect partner because you're settling for someone less, and it's just holding you back from something greater. And at the end of the day, if you do settle for an average relationship with someone that doesn't really fit, you're not doing yourself justice, because deep down you know you want more. You know you're unsatisfied. You're almost like disrespecting what you desire by staying there. Like, you know that, and it ends up hurting you, and it's like a low grade pain in a relationship, and almost like comes out as resentment in the relationship. But that's you that's choosing to stay. You have to grow some balls there and leave that person. And if they're not meant for you, you're probably not meant for them either. So you're doing both of each other a favor. Okay, the next thing that I think is important is that let's focus on the actual partner themselves. You have to have a clear idea of what you want. You can think of like hobbies, you can think of physical features, you can think of the job that they have, but I wouldn't really worry too much about that. You can if you want, and if that's something that's really important, but I would think more, define the values you want them to have. For me, I want them to value health, I want them to value growth, I want them to value family, I want them to value communication. It feels like because they would value that, the behaviors, the job that they have, the hobbies that they have, they all kind of follow with the values that I laid out, you know? So if I want someone that's like active or works out, well, I could think like, oh, I want someone that works out, but I could also think they value their health. So that has an even broader range. That means they eat healthy, they have good sleep and all that. So think of the values that you want to find in a partner. And then the next thing you can think about is, if that's their values, where would they find themselves in their daily life? Because if you go out like in a club to find your dream partner, just realize that that is their lifestyle. I don't want someone that drinks or drinks a lot. I don't want someone that has to drink every day or party every weekend, because I don't do that, and that's not something I value. So I'm not gonna go out to a bar to find and meet someone when that person is actually there because that's something they value. And then they will expect me to value that there because I would have met them there. To me, what's more realistic is to find a partner that I will find on a Saturday morning in a coffee shop because they're like working on something or whatever. To me, it's more likely that I meet someone that I am attracted to or that I would find valuable is to see that person in a coffee shop or a fitness class or at the library or go on a walk or something. Like, that's where I think I would find my partner more likely than if I were to go to a bar or something like that. And it's really hard because we're talking about alcohol, and everything around us is related to alcohol. Everywhere we go. I literally go to my grocery store and there's a bar in there. You go on a plane, they ask you for a drink. Like, you can't even go to the airport without being free from alcohol. You go to social events, you go to a comedy club, you go picnicking, people will bring alcohol. Any event of the year, any holiday, people will bring alcohol. So it's a huge part of our lives. I want someone that also sees alcohol the same way and lives by those values, and like don't have their life revolve around that, because it ruins lives, honestly. So anyways, that was a small tangent. Whatever dream partner you want to have, just realize, okay, where would they find themselves? And then you need to show up in those places. The next thing is to be open-minded and flexible. Because in the past, when I was doing like the exercise of like kind of figuring out what type of partner I want and all that, oftentimes I realized that I would describe myself. That is so selfish, but literally the qualities I would say was like I was describing me. But I have to realize I need to be open-minded and flexible in the way that I don't want necessarily someone just like me. I have to realize I want them to kind of complement what I struggle with. One of the things that I struggle with is having fun. And I want someone that I can have fun with. And if I would have someone completely like me, I wouldn't be able, oh my God, that would be the most serious relationship ever. Like, every night we would be working on our goals and we would write down what we need to do better the next day. Like, I need someone that kind of pulls me out of that a little bit and that we like complement each other. So maybe I need someone that's a little bit more low-key and present and comforting and all that. So I have to be open-minded and realize like, okay, the person that comes into my life, they don't have to have the same habits or the same way of life than I do. Some things need to match up, but it doesn't have to be like exactly the same. So I have to take a step back and not like disregard people just because they're not like me, basically. Okay, good. Now, the next thing is you have to act like it already happened, or like it will eventually happen. So you have to feel good about yourself knowing that this is going to happen, because once you're clear about what you want and you're setting yourself boundaries and you're making a contract with yourself to disregard the things that you don't want, you're going to get what you want. Just trust that. Once you have in your mind things that you look for and you know in your heart what you don't want, you're not gonna look out for those things that you don't want. You're not gonna settle for something that you don't want because you already know that that's not what you want. I think a lot of people settle for less or settle for toxic relationships because they haven't done the deep work and realized like what they truly want, and they haven't taken the time to learn from the relationships and analyze why they're attracted to certain toxic behaviors or toxic people. But once you're clear about that, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time, and you don't have to rush it, because a lot of people, like women my age, were way more mature than men. And sorry guys, but we are generally more mature, so maybe it will take time before I get like my dream partner. I just have to trust that they're going through their shit as well. Like, they're out there, they're going through their shit, and eventually we'll find each other. One thing that I started doing, and it's so fucking weird, but at night I will say out loud thank you to higher power, God, the universe, Mother Nature, whoever I feel like that day. I will thank them for giving me my dream partner, because I'm trusting that it will come. And by saying out loud, thank you for finding me a loyal person that is very honest, that is driven, thank you, thank you, thank you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Putting that out there just kind of gives you that sense of security that it's going to happen, and remind yourself what you want and what to look for in your daily life. And really, it just kind of takes some weight off your shoulder, because you're like, something greater is going to be in control, and I've done everything in my power to make sure it's going to happen. So I just got to sit back and let it unfold. And you're just grateful because you know it's going to happen one day. So just be grateful and just, you know, trust that that moment will come. Anyways, that was just my little introspection of how to manifest my dream partner. I've learned so much from my past relationships, and there are so many things I chose to ignore. Don't ignore your gut. Your intuition tells you so much, and you have to have the courage to do the hard decisions, because it's going to be the best thing for you. It might be the hardest thing that you do right now, but sometimes you have to do the hard things for you to have a better life. And you have to let go. You really do have to let go and move on, and just believe that you're meant for something better. So yeah, I got you. I know you got me. We got each other. I hope you liked this video, and thanks. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah.